Right now, your budgie is looking at your living room walls, and they are seeing a shifting, glowing landscape of light that, to your eyes, is completely invisible. You just sitting on your couch, totally relaxed, maybe scrolling through your phone or reading a book. In the corner of the room, inside their cage, your bird is sitting perfectly still. But then they freeze. Their tiny head cocks to the side and their eyes lock intensely onto a completely blank patch of empty drywall. A few moments later, they shift their gaze, staring deeply into a plain plastic water dish like it contains the secrets of the universe. To you, it just looks like mindless pet behavior. It's easy to dismiss it as a quirky habit, or just a simple animal reacting to nothing at all. But honestly, behind that quiet gaze lies a profound sensory disconnect. Your bird isn't looking at a blank wall, and they certainly aren't staring at nothing. What's actually happening in this exact moment is a massive influx of visual data that your human brain is physically incapable of even decoding. But it doesn't stop there. If you watch them closely during these strange moments, you'll start to notice a series of tiny, unexplained behaviors. Their head tilts at these bizarre sharp angles, shifting rapidly from left to right like they're trying to view the empty space through a completely different lens. Suddenly, their pupils contract into tiny pinpricks and then rapidly expand. It's this strange, striking thing called eye pinning. And they do this most intensely when they're looking at the most mundane things around your house. A white shirt fresh out of the laundry, a specific plastic toy, or even the reflection on a window pane. Most bird owners see this eye pinning and just assume it's a sign of simple excitement or playful energy. But there's a hidden mechanism operating here. They aren't playing. They are frantically calibrating their vision, trying to filter and process hyper-concentrated pockets of a strange ambient energy that makes ordinary household items look like pulsing, radioactive neon beacons. Think about this for a second. There is a deeply embedded, hidden system built right into their eyes that fundamentally separates their reality from yours. We like to think that the human eye is the pinnacle of evolutionary design, that the world we see is the true, definitive version of reality. We look around our living rooms and we see smooth paint, solid colors, and static shadows. But here's what most people miss. We are essentially colorblind compared to the creatures sitting on our shoulder. Our whole understanding of light is entirely dictated by a three-color prism, using red, green, and blue receptors to stitch together our world. But inside the tiny, walnut-sized consciousness of a budgie, that entire system is cracked wide open. They possess a fourth cone receptor, a highly specialized biological tool tuned entirely to a spectrum of reality that sits completely outside our reach. And this is where it gets really interesting. This fourth receptor completely unlocks the hidden dimension of ultraviolet light. But here's what most people miss. They don't just see some faint, see-through glow layered over the things you see. This wavelength blends completely with the traditional colors, creating an entirely new primary color. It's a visual wavelength that humans literally lack the vocabulary to describe. I mean, imagine trying to explain the color red to someone who has only ever seen black and white. It's impossible. This means that every single object in your house, every surface you touch, and every shadow in the corner is saturated with a color you can only dream of. Your bird is constantly navigating a high-definition landscape of rich data, shifting patterns, and luminous signals. Meanwhile, you're left standing on the outside of a reality you literally share with them every single day. But how does this system actually look in their day-to-day lives? Well, in the wild, this advanced sight isn't some luxury. It's a vital system for pure survival. Take a plain green budgie, for example. To your eyes, it's just a beautifully simple green pet. But now flip this around and look at that bird through their eyes. To another member of its species, that bird is a walking billboard of glowing, complex ultraviolet patterns. The cheek patches flash with blinding intensity, and the feathers across their chest shimmer with these hidden gradients. Honestly, these UV markers broadcast their exact age, physical strength, and health in a single glance. Even their food is completely mapped out by this. A patch of wild grass seed or a piece of fruit doesn't just look green or ripe to them. It radiates a distinct ultraviolet signature that signals its peak nutritional value. On the flip side, stale, dead seed loses this ultraviolet shine completely. It just looks dull, gray, and unappealing to a discerning bird. Every single decision they make, from choosing a mate to selecting a single seed, is guided by an invisible blueprint written in light. And this changes everything about how they look at you. This is the part of the relationship that hits closest to home, because when your budgie looks across the room at your face, they're not seeing the smooth, even skin you see in the mirror. Human skin reflects ultraviolet light in highly intricate, completely uneven patches that are totally unique to your biology. They can see the microscopic blood flow shifting just beneath your skin. They can see the invisible glowing chemical residues left behind by the soaps, lotions, or laundry detergents you used hours ago. But here is the part that is kind of unsettling. Think about what happens when your mood changes. When you get stressed, anxious, angry, or happy, your skin temperature and blood pressure shift in real time. To your bird, your face is a living, breathing, emotional weather map. They can literally see your stress building as a shifting gradient of ultraviolet energy before you even realize you are upset. They aren't just reading your body language. They are watching your emotions glow. But it doesn't stop there. And this is where the sensory divide takes a much more intense, kind of troubling turn inside a modern home. Think about the everyday items we buy to decorate our rooms or furnish a pet's cage. A lot of standard consumer goods like crisp white printer paper, certain plastic toys, or synthetic fabrics are made using chemical optical brighteners. Companies use these chemicals because they absorb invisible ultraviolet light and throw it back out as visible blue light. It makes things look cleaner, whiter, and brighter to human eyes. But here's what most people don't realize. To a budgie's hyper-capable fourth cone, these objects don't just look bright. They emit this overwhelming, unshielded, completely chaotic glare. A simple white plastic ladder or a toy you bought to keep them entertained can actually radiate a jarring, unnatural energy that totally floods their visual cortex. Sitting next to these things for hours on end can cause this hidden chronic neurological stress. It basically turns their cage into a confusing visual nightmare of artificial glare that you are completely blind to. This forces us to completely rebuild our understanding of the very rooms we live in. I mean, take a look around you right now. Look at the corners of your ceiling, the texture of your curtains, the plastics sitting on your desk. To you, it's just a quiet, predictable environment. But through the eyes of the tiny bird watching you from their perch, that room is a stunning, deeply complex frontier. The shadows in the corner aren't just dark spaces. They have depth, texture, and color transitions that reveal the microscopic movement of air currents and dust. The clear glass of your window isn't an invisible barrier either. It's a highly reflective shield that filters and bends the sun's rays into these beautiful shifting geometric patterns across the floor. Even the air itself changes hue throughout the day, shifting from a deep, cool ultraviolet tone in the early morning to a vibrant electric warmth as the sun goes down. Your familiar, boring living room is actually a breathtaking masterpiece of light and energy that your pet fully owns and navigates with absolute mastery. It is a beautiful, slightly humbling reality to sit with for a second. You and your bird share the exact same physical space, you breathe the same air, and you live within the same four walls, yet you inhabit two entirely separate universes. It completely shatters the old assumption that we are the absolute masters of our domestic environments, or that our pets are just simple, passive background characters in our lives. In reality, we're the ones walking around in the dark, completely oblivious to the rich tapestry of color and information that surrounds us. Those hyper-capable, rapid-blinking eyes are holding on to a secret spectrum of existence, quietly observing a world that we can only dream of understanding. It leaves you with a profound respect for the silent intelligence watching you from across the room. So, the next time you catch your budgie frozen in place, staring intensely into what looks like completely empty air, stop what you are doing and just watch them. Take a moment to realize the sheer scale of what they are experiencing right in front of you. Have you ever noticed your bird reacting strangely, flaring their wings, or pinning their eyes at a specific shirt, a new piece of furniture, or a toy you just brought home?